Right, episode 9, and you'll probably see from the title and the thumbnail, we're not actually doing any work on the brake van today. We're going on a bit of a road trip, if you like, to the Great Central Railway, and that's because Matt from the Quorn Wagon Wagon Works has very kindly invited me down to film some of their rolling stock. They've got box vans, they've got ballast hoppers, mineral wagons, they've got everything. And they've got brake vans as well. So we're going to go there, get some inspiration, speak to the guys. They're also going to speak to a chap who owns over 70 pieces of rolling stock as well. So we're going to catch up with him and find out the reasons behind that. But yeah, you'll see the running boards have arrived here. You're going to have to wait till episode 10 to see the installation of these. But yeah, let's take a little trip to the Great Central Railway.
Right, so I'm Matt Baker, and with me is Ross.
Yep, Ross Loads.
We're members of the Quorn Wagon Wagon group at the Great Central Railway. So the Quorn Wagon Wagon group looks after the freight vehicles based here at the Great Central Railway, and they are all owned by an individual called Nick Tinsley, and we'll meet him later if Ollie's willing to go on a train ride.
So tell us a little bit about what you've actually got in stock here, because you do actually have a stock book as well of everything here that people can actually purchase. But do you want to just give us a brief overview of what you've actually got on site?
Yes, so here at Quorn is our main base of operations where we look after the wagons. Current projects are a bogie bolster D, and a vintage, classic vehicle at the moment, but we'll see if we'll see that later. But at the minute is the home of the box van brake. So we've got 17 box vans, various designs, mostly BR, a few, one LMS, one Ministry of Supply, shock vans and standard pattern vans. And of course, what we're sat in at the minute, a brake van.
I was going to say, this you guys will recognise this is not my brake van. It was nowhere near what mine looks. The quality of this one. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the brake van we're in at the moment?
Yeah, so this brake van, 954268, was the first wagon bought by Nick when he was starting to collect vehicles. So bought a few coaches, and then this was his very first wagon. So it's been on the railway since 1984, and it's used as an operational vehicle. It's currently out of traffic at the moment, but we're hoping to have that return to traffic in the next few years.
So why Wagon on Wagon? What made you decide this is what you want to do on the railway?
Well, initially, sort of for myself, I started as a volunteer at Carriage and Wagon. And one of Nick's other brake vans, an LMS brake van, came into the shed for some roof work over at Christmas, would have been 2011. And then after that I made the move to join Nick with his fleet. So I was kind of like the first Quorn Wagon and Wagon sort of member other than Nick. And then it's been like that since, well, for me, like 2011. Matt, you joined, 2015?
2015, yes. I was a member of the operations department on the railway, volunteered. I spent a lot of time in this van, going up and down the railway on the back of a goods train. And I sort of developed a real keen interest in the wagons, which sort of developed into, I'd like to work on these things.
And of course, where you are here as well, you've got a perfect spot of the trains coming, but as you've just seen a couple of clips in this video,
Oh, yeah.
You get a view that's not hindered by anyone standing in front of you with cameras.
Yeah, I think the main catalyst, though, I probably won't mind me saying, Ross and Nick were doing a phenomenal job with the wagons, but they just came out painted.
Yes.
So my forte is the sign writing.
Yes.
I've got an apprentice at the minute, Mr. Bauer. He won't mind me saying that. So yeah, Nick and Ross were churning out all these nicely painted bauxite vehicles, but nobody knew what they were.
No. No numbers, no anything.
That's where you stepped in with.
So yeah,
some sign writing.
I saw a gap in the market, as it were.
Yeah.
And started assisting with the lettering, which eventually moved on to, we'll do it all then.
Yeah.
You mentioned you do operational weekends or events where you actually use these box vans for their purpose.
Yeah, so our Railways at Work gala is it started last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it was goods galore, now it's called Railways at Work. And we show the public what it was like to transport goods and stuff around what the railways did in 1950s and 60s. So yeah, the box vans come into the yard, we'd empty some of the loads out, put it on a trailer would disappear with a scarab, or scamel scarab, and then it'd come back again later in the day, load would go back in, train goes off again.
Leading on for that, you don't just do box vans here, do you?
No, we do heritage vehicles,
Yes.
we call them. So yes, Ross mentioned the Scamel Scarab, so we've got a 1953 built Scamel Scarab called Madge. That's owned by myself, Dave Bauer, and Jack Shaw, who is the senior station master on the station here at Quorn. We have 3 trailers, a box trailer, a long trailer and a short trailer, and they come into their own on these Railways at Work galas. I also have a 1968 built Morris minor van. That's in BR livery, and again fill the back of that with parcels and disappear. In fact, in one Railways at Work I disappeared to Rowfleet for a few hours. And then there's another project on the go, a bit more modern, a 1988 Escort van, which by the time this probably gets uploaded will be in BR yellow.
Oh, fantastic. So, actually, maybe the final thing I should ask is, how long is your list of things to do?
Well, when we started the box van train, we sat down and worked it out, didn't we?
It was a 6-year rotation, wasn't it?
At that time, so we're talking 5 years ago, we worked out we had 6.5 years of work.
That was 3 people working weekends, 6 years rotation.
Since then, Nick's gone and bought 5 or 6 more wagons. And,
So that's expanded that rotation then.
Yeah, we haven't worked out how long it would. So yeah.
But we have expanded in membership as well.
There's 7 members of the group.
Yeah.
Myself and Ross. Nick will hopefully meet later. Dave Bauer, Richard Thompson, and
Jake Ruddy.
And then we've sort of got an apprentice, haven't we? Thomas.
Oh, Thomas, yes.
What's Thomas's second?
Thomas Jones.
Thomas Jones. So yeah, he's a young lad. His father used to fire for the railway. He's assisting because we need small people to get into the tight crevices. I'm sure you've found this out as well.
Well, yeah, thank you very much for speaking to me. I appreciate it.
No worries.
No worries.
Yeah, I'm Nick Tinsley. I joined the Great Central Railway when it was Mainline Steam Trust. I was 10 years old, went on to the P-Way. I did the P-Way until about 4 years ago, but I've always had a real interest in rolling stock. It used to be loco, 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 loco. What was a railway? Locos. What were they for? Locos. And I thought, no, there's more to railways than that. So I bought some coaches and then I started buying wagons. I just enjoyed it. There's so many different types of wagon for different traffics. I've got wagons as old as 1913, right up to rebuilds in 1990. Because I'd from the age of about 14, I'd got this idea. I wanted I wanted a box van, I wanted a BR brake van, I wanted a pipe wagon. There were certain wagons that I really wanted. Yeah. And it was difficult at first because British Rail wouldn't initially take you seriously. But once I got started and I got to know how it all worked, I found buying wagons as easy as it will be going and buying a second-hand car. Yeah. So once you got to know, it was easy. Many times I was in scrap yards and I'd saw, for instance, there was an LNER steel shock absorbing high, and I thought, it's being craned off the track, ready for cutting. There'll be another one. Yeah. I was wrong. It was the last one. And it went. There was a low fit. I've desperately tried to get a BR low fit for years, and every time, for whatever reason, I was thwarted. Just lost, never got one. There are many preserved railways like this that have got rows of wagons that are just regarded as scrap or rubbish. Hopefully, our activities here may spur some people to think, actually, why don't we do them up? Like they're doing at Loughborough and the Nene Valley and the Mid-Hants. People are starting to do wagons. At the end of the day, I'm doing them because I like them. There's not many vehicles now running on the national network that were about with steam. But if you look closely, there are. The BDAs, yeah. Rebuilds from vacuum brake bogie bolsters, they're still out there, built in the 50s. Some of the vehicles were built in the 40s and 50s, and they've seen steam, electric, all the different diesels come and go, and they've outlived the lot. Yep.
Oh, is that a tradesman entrance?
Well, heritage lines, it's about history. You can't just tell the story of moving people by rail, because railways were actually invented to move goods.
Yeah.
Goods wagons are obviously very varied, and yeah, my view is, why not? Basically, I bought them, we've done them, we keep buying more. Whole block trains, yeah. We've got a train of coal wagons, we've got a train of box vans, we've got tank wagons, we've got a train of ballast wagons, hoppers and spoil wagons. We've got rail carriers, we've got specialist types, we've got iron ore hoppers, iron ore tipplers, everything and anything really. And we're telling the story of railways, not just locos, not just passengers. We're telling the whole story.